Welcome back once again, all my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today I have another very easy keto dessert recipe for you. Today I am going to show you how to make a keto cake that only requires 3 ingredients. I love recipes that have minimal ingredients and that are quick and simple. This is all the above: quick, simple, easy, and inexpensive to make. So if you want a printable version of this recipe, you can check out my website at janet'sdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out videos, at least every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and help support the channel. Also, remember, I've branched out to cal.com. I have a link in the description. You can click the link in the description and you can tip me, which is another way to help support the channel. So while we do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat an air fryer to 325 degrees for at least 5 minutes. If you don't have an air fryer, just preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Lightly grease a 6-inch round cake pan. Then line the cake pan with some parchment paper. Now you're probably wondering, well, why should I grease the cake pan if I'm just going to put parchment paper? Greasing the pan before you put the parchment paper just helps the parchment paper stick better. And in this case, you want to make sure that the parchment paper is not sliding around. When you're putting the parchment paper in, make sure that the paper is covering the entire pan, the bottom and all the way up the sides. You want them completely covered. This cake can very easily stick to your pan. It's okay if there's creases in the paper when you're pushing it down inside of your cake pan. I try to keep the bottom smooth, but this is one of those cakes that's not going to be a perfectly shaped cake. It's not supposed to look that way. Once your pan's lined, set it aside for a minute. In a large mixing bowl, place 300 grams or around 1.5 cups of Greek yogurt. You do want this to be Greek yogurt because you need that thickness. You can use flavored or unflavored, that's up to you. If you want to, you can add up to 50 grams or around 1/4 cup of the granulated sweetener of your choice and a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract or an extract of your choice. My yogurt, I'm using the Too Good brand, and it's strawberry flavored and it's sweetened with stevia leaf. So I'm not going to add any extra sweetener, but I am going to add a little bit of vanilla extract because I want a little hint of a vanilla flavor in my cake. If you do add sweetener, then you'll need to mix it really well with the Greek yogurt before adding the other ingredient. Add 4 large eggs to the Greek yogurt, then whisk the yogurt and the eggs together until they are fully combined. Sift in 18 grams or around 2.5 tablespoons of coconut flour. Then whisk everything together until everything is fully combined and smooth. Make sure you have a perfectly smooth batter. You don't want any chunks or crumbs of coconut flour in there. I usually whisk it for a good 30 seconds just to make sure that everything is completely dissolved, especially if you've added extra sweetener. You really want to make sure that everything is fully dissolved and it's nice and smooth and creamy. Pour the batter into your prepared cake pan, and if you need to, you can tilt the pan a little bit to side just to make sure that the top is nice and even. Place the cake in your preheated air fryer and air fry at 325 degrees for 17 to 20 minutes or until the cake is puffy, fully set, and golden on top. If you're baking this, then bake at 350 degrees for 60 to 70 minutes or again until it's puffy, fully set, and golden on top. Once your cake is done cooking, open your air fryer or your oven, whichever one you've used. Your cake is going to deflate a little bit when you open it. That's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. Let your cake sit in the air fryer for about 5 minutes just so you don't burn yourself when you go to lift the cake pan out. After about 5 minutes, remove your pan from your fryer, keep the cake in the pan, place the pan onto a wire rack, and allow the cake to cool at room temperature for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes and the cake has come to mostly room temperature, place the cake in your refrigerator and refrigerate for at least 2 hours so the cake can completely cool and firm up. After about 2 hours and your cake is firm, when you're actually ready to eat your cake, Remove it from the refrigerator and allow it to sit for about 20 minutes or so it can come to mostly room temperature. It's easier to slice that way. If you want to, you can top the cake with some powdered sweetener and some berries or drizzle some keto honey over the top of it. It's all up to you, or you can just leave it as is. That's entirely up to you. All right, guys, we are back with my little 3-ingredient cake. I don't know if you can see that very well because it's kind of short, but hey, that's what it's supposed to be. Now, when you first take this out of the pan, it's going to look like a gigantic, thick pancake. That's just the way it is. It's not going to be one of those thick, high-rise, fluffy cakes. That's not the way it's made to be. In fact, the texture of the inside of it, if you can see that, it's more of the texture of a cheesecake rather than a flaky, crumbly crumb cake type thing. So it's more of the texture between a cheesecake and a custard cake, somewhere around in there. Think of cheesecake when you make it, because that's more of what the texture is as far as what I can see and feel. But what I can taste is what really counts. Yeah. It smells really good, especially because I've got strawberry yogurt in there. It has a really nice smell to it. That is really good. I think the next time, for me, I'm going to put a little bit more sweetener in it. I figured because my yogurt was already sweetened that I wouldn't need too much more sweetener, but I need just a tiny bit more, like maybe a tablespoon of sweetener or something like that in there. Really good though. That is definitely a winner. So easy and minimal ingredients. I love that. Very, very tasty. Yummy. You can eat this immediately. If you do have any leftovers, you can store it in an airtight container in your refrigerator for up to 1 week. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.